Hey, welcome back, everyone. It's time now to talk about home gardening, and our expert Sally Cunningham joins us now. Morning, Sally.
Good morning. Nice to have you here.
Well, thank you. I'm so happy to be here. And you know what? The National Garden Festival just wrapped up. And Sally, you played such a major role in bringing it here and all of the wonderful events. How was it?
It's been great. I was very proud. I was the chair with some fabulous partners. And the National Garden Festival combined Garden Walk Buffalo with 17 other garden walks and tours and that front yard makeover and a lot of other things. And it brought many more people. We're still tallying it, but we had new attendance from many more states. You can look at Garden Walk Buffalo's website to see some of the comments about Buffalo. But yes, we had a success, and there will be another National Garden Festival next year. So thanks for asking.
Yeah, everyone is so happy to hear about that it's going to come back next year. Such great events.
We're proud of it. We have a lot to offer.
Great.
This is a Pennisetum rubrum, and I just wanted to comment that some people are still asking about this red grass and is it perennial, and no, this is an annual, and I think it's a good time this year to pop in some new annuals into your containers. If they're looking tired, I just put this simple container together with a beautiful little gold plant complementing the red, and anybody can do this. So spiff up your deck with these sorts of things, but there are perennial ornamental grasses with some red tone. It's just not this one.
All right, it is beautiful. Thanks, Sally. We've got a lot of callers on the line this morning. First, we're going to get to Ruth in Alma. Good morning, Ruth.
Good morning.
Hi.
What's your question?
Are you? I have got some beautiful, good grief, it just escaped me, vines along my fence. They are honeysuckle, and they bloomed gorgeously. They went absolutely nuts this year. But now I'm seeing a lot of berries where the plants were. What do? Do I cut those back? When do I prune them back?
Well, honeysuckle had a pretty good year because it liked the heat mostly, but then a lot of them got fungal leaf spot. A lot of them are not looking good. If you're seeing berries or seed heads, that means the flower finished, so you always pluck those off. Otherwise, I would wait to cut the honeysuckle back next winter, late winter, early spring. But I'm glad to hear that it did well, and you didn't complain about powdery mildew or anything.
All right, Ruth, thanks for calling. And next we have Tom in Williamsville on the line. Tom, what's your question?
Good morning. I heard you speaking about Rosa Sharon last week, and I'm curious to how far can you cut them back?
You can prune your Rose of Sharon fairly radically. It's a multi-stem shrub. If it's just gotten too big for you, you can either do it right after it's flowering, or you can do it in late winter. But go ahead and thin it down. You don't want to radically prune now because it wants its leaves to keep growing its roots for the winter. But yes, do some pruning and it'll tolerate a pretty good. But don't do a straight haircut. Do a multi-layered kind of a fine cut.
I just learned something. I have a Rose of Sharon in my backyard. Glad to know that. Rosemary, you're on the line next. Good morning.
Good morning.
What's your question this morning, Rosemary?
I have about 4 rhubarb plants, a couple of years old, and these stalks are very thin. How can I make them better?
Well, rhubarb does take a couple of good years, maybe 3 years, to be its ideal thing, and I think that you need to fertilize it. I would fertilize that at the end of this season. I wouldn't do it now, but I would do it at the end of the season, like in September, and I'd fertilize again in April. I would also go online and double-check my timing for that, but I think that fertilizer is probably helpful, and otherwise just being patient, because rhubarb doesn't take very much extra help.
Well, as always, Sally, thanks so much for coming in this morning and sharing your expertise with us.
Nice to see you. I want to remind you, noon at the Buffalo Library is Gardening Monday, so see some of you tomorrow.
Excellent. So if you didn't get your question in, you know how to get in touch with Sally. There you go.